The collapse of this stadium is in Indiana or Ohio was amazing to me. I find that in America things like this shouldn't happen because we have a lot of technology and science and so forth. Were these guys who set the stage trained? Did they do any studies? Do they know what they're doing, or they're just some brain dead guys that supposed to be picking tomatoes that got contracts and moving up the ladder? Um, I think that when you're doing anything, you have to look all around and see what are the contingencies and what are the um, things that could happen. And wind is one of the things that could happen. Um, Floods and other disasters might not necessarily be related to this project, but the winds. I'm sure that this is not the first time fierce winds pass through here or whatever. And so for them not to strap this thing down real good and for it to collapse and kill people, it's unconscionable. But as I said, I remember when I was living in Florida. I had at that time two associate awards, a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD. When I went to the state first, I was trying to get me an accounting position, and it never happened. In fact, I went to one office. Okay, I discovered when I'm on the bus riding around trying to get jobs, there were three women who would be on the bus with me. They'll come off with me. One will go the opposite way, one will go the way I'm going, and one will go on the other side of the street. But over time, and then I discovered, I said, hey, these people, I've seen these people before, and so on. So when I went into an accounting office, they showed up in the office and they talked to the manager, and then that was the end of it. I never got hired. But I couldn't keep on going looking for jobs. I had to. My daughter was in college. I had to, get a living and so forth. So I had to, get a job. A night job would have been better, and then I could look for an accounting position during the day. But it wasn't happening, so I had to end up taking two jobs. I worked picking up garbage during the day, and at nights I worked in a grocery store. So I worked like 16 hours. But the labor pool that I was working out of for the garbage job, they sent me at a site, and this white guy, was controlling the project, and he can't even count. So I was able to, count the things up for him real quick. So his friend said, "Oh, you were looking for a man. This is a good man here." So he said, "Tell the boss man to send you back tomorrow." So now I'm working for minimum wage. I have a doctorate and I'm good at math. So he wants me to come to work for minimum wage and run his business and get his business going up at the up and just be paid minimum wage. In fact, it should have been that I should have get the contract and he should be working out the labor pool and working for me. But in Florida, you're white, you got it done, and you get contracts even if you're qualified or not. So this thing, I'm wondering if the same thing up in at this stadium contract, whether these guys basically. Oh, another thing. I was doing yards once, and I went to this company. They were doing like tubes for like hydraulic tubing and all that kind of stuff. And he said, "How much you gonna do this yard for?" Well, I just did a brief survey, and I felt like it was a $40 job. This job, it was so difficult that it took me about 2 days. So I said, "Man, can we renegotiate this thing?" I mean, I made a mistake. Hey, bro, this thing is costing me a lot more time than I thought it would have. He said, "No, man. You said 6, then that's it." But yet he had a white guy sitting down and he was showing him how to come up with a cost and situation, how to charge him for whatever he was going to do. And he was there coaching him and showing him how to do it. You see what I'm saying? So this is something that happens. You find a lot of folks out there, they get positions, they're not qualified, but because they have certain experiences or certain ethnic group or whatever, they get positions. So this thing in Ohio, I mean, you don't like to know that people die, but folks need to operate right. Let the right people, this is America, we have all the schools out here. Let the people with the education get the right job so that you don't have mishaps and mistakes like this. Because this is only one. You have it on Wall Street, you have it all over the place. People are incompetent and doing stupid stuff, and some are a lot more dangerous than this. Yeah, 4 people died, it traumatized people, and so on. But them boys up in Wall Street, man, they're about to cause, and them boys up at some of them other agencies that could do stuff for you, they're about to cause us some serious grief. So my call is at this late hour, start operating right. Stop preventing blacks and others from getting into certain programs so that they could qualify to get certain jobs. Just let your friends go through and then you let them slide They don't even pass the course, but you say, what grade you want, man? You satisfied with this grade here I give you, man? That will not cut it because it's rigorous out there. It's very demanding, and a project doesn't care about all that stuff. If you don't do it right, it's going to collapse and people are going to die.